From Martine Studios in New York, your trending topic TV show. This is Talking Heads with Nizam.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talking Heads. I'm your host, Nizam. Don't forget you can catch us on Friday nights, 8 p.m. on Verizon 45 and Cablevision 76. So let's get right into it today. We have Katie and Michael, my favorite segment of the show. Katie, what are you watching?
Really excited about the new seasons of Sons of Anarchy coming out.
It's the final season, right?
Final season. Yes, very upsetting but exciting at the same time. I'm rewatching season 6, so I'm ready for season 7, and I just can't wait to see who survives.
What do you think of Peggy Bundy in that show? When you first saw her, you were like, I kind of like when I don't really watch, but I try to. But when I first saw it, I was like, is that her? Yeah, completely different character. I mean, she plays a crazy mother very well, crazy motorcycle mother very well, Yeah.
and she's mother hen of the group, and I'm really excited about it. I actually hope she's one that bites the bullet this season. I hate her character, but I love to hate her character.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Anything else? You doing any like Netflix or like Hulu stuff or anything like that?
Yes, the second season of Orange is the New Black. Love that show. Guilty pleasure, but yes, I just finished that one.
I love Netflix because they just put the show out. And they're like, here, just go watch it. Just go check it out. You know, like I'm watching House of Cards too. If you watch House of Cards, you gotta check it out. There's 2 seasons out, so you gotta check out House of Cards. It's really cool.
Love Kevin Spacey, so I might have to give that one a try.
It'll blow your mind. The first season, you'll be like, wow, it was crazy. And then the second season, it's crazy. So, Mike, what about you? What are you watching?
Netflix is crack television. Because all 3 shows you guys just went over, I've been through, and in a matter of minutes or days or what have you, I blow through the seasons. And Sons of Anarchy, I mean, not to jump on your coattails, but looking forward to the closing season. And I was a little kind of taken back with the way they left off the end of the last season. It was a little over the top.
Don't give anything away.
I'm not, just a little over the top. And
very upsetting.
I noticed, too, while you were speaking, got a slight little Katie Seagal in you too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just coincidental or what have you. And she's also a talented vocalist. She's sung a few songs.
On the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
They featured her on the show.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she's. Obviously she wasn't typecast from her Peggy Bundy role because.
But she is married to Kurt Sutter,
the
writer of the show. Yes, who also plays Otto Delaney, the crazy guy who does all their bidding in the jail.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to make your own opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe she was being typecast in that Peggy Bundy, and she's like, "Yo, I'm so much better. I can do so." You know, she was good in that role.
Brilliant television.
And now it's like you see the completely opposite of it, and so hopefully people will take notice, and she'll get some more gigs after this.
Very opposite. But what I am watching, I picked up on a show that had gone off the air, and then Netflix brought it back. Arrested Development.
Yeah, I never really got into that.
It's something to get into. It's on a completely different level than where we just were with between House of Cards
comedy,
and Sons
right?
of Anarchy.
Sitcom?
It's comedy. It's deep. It's cerebral comedy. It's the kind of thing that I can really get into, and it's fantastic.
Is Jason Bateman still in there?
Jason Bateman's still the lead.
I think they just did that for him. Like he took a little hiatus. And
Well, you've got Portia de Rossi in there also.
Yeah.
She's what I call the poor man Jim Carrey, David Cross.
Oh, okay.
He's hilarious.
Who is brilliant. It's a fantastic show. You should really check it out.
That's cool.
But House of Cards too was like gripping.
It was.
And I didn't watch the first season until the second season was about to pop out. And I was hooked and watched it straight through.
Binge TV, man.
Binge TV to the max, but it was absolutely phenomenal, and it really makes you wonder.
Yeah.
And any issue we're going to talk about going forward, just kind of roll it back to what's going on in
the House
DC.
of Cards.
Man,
right. I'm like a USA Network dude right now. Like I had Devon Roberts on a few shows ago, and he was talking about Suits. I think I'm going to try to get into Suits. I tried to watch it, but it's like about this kid who kind of like fakes it and makes it, and he's supposed to be a lawyer, but he didn't go to school. I gotta figure it out. But Covert Affairs, Piper Perabo, Hill Harper. I mean, I've been on this since the beginning, and it's crazy. It's getting nuts right now. And I'm watching. So I got Covert Affairs, Graceland. I'm watching another one, just all this intrigue and spy, ATF and all this stuff. And one show I'm really excited about coming back is White Collar. White Collar's coming
Really?
back. Yeah, I love it. It's all on the USA Network, and I'm just like, I love these shows. Suits is on USA too.
Yeah, there's some pretty impressive programming on that network.
Yeah.
I've delved into covert affairs early on. I kind of lost track this past season, I guess, but it was pretty gripping television.
Man, I'm telling you, if you can get back into it, try to find out where you were and jump back in, because they added a couple new characters this season. Well, they added Hill Harper, who's Calder, and now they add this new guy, McQuaid, and it's just, man, it's crazy TV. I was watching it the other day, and I was just like, my mind was blown. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh, and not too long ago, about I guess 3 weeks ago, Facebook was hopping with Orange is the New Black, who were filming on location in New Rochelle in southern Westchester.
Oh,
So it was
yeah?
kind of cool to
Yeah.
see all the lights in action over on North Avenue. So
That's cool.
Again.
You know what? That's a great segue. Speaking of criminals, all right. So there's a lot of shooting and looting going on in St. Louis and Missouri. The Mike Brown case is on fire right now. Basically, Mike Brown was shot and killed by a police officer out in Missouri. And there's a lot of protesting / rioting going on. We're trying to figure out all the details of this. But basically, a white cop shot a black kid. He's 18. He's 6'4", so people are like, he's not a kid. But like, what are your takes on this, Kate? How do you feel about this whole thing?
I mean, it's a tragedy either way. You cut it. It's a terrible tragedy for the community, and just it's a terrible thing to happen. That being said, I think that there are two sides to every story, and our Constitution was built around being innocent until proven guilty. It's not, a trial that should be played out against the media. And I think that with the violence that's occurring, I think it's not a help to their community or their family, Michael Brown's family left behind. So that's unfortunate. But it's just there's so many moving pieces to this, and we're just learning certain things now. And I feel like more is to come. I don't think we know the whole story yet.
Right. Mike, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. We're very quick to snap to judgment, and I don't know if that's a byproduct of the mass media today or social media today, or people just being in that, let me get the news sources for dummies. Are we being irresponsible? Again, it's certainly a tragedy. Anytime a life is lost, there's some real deep thought and investigation that needs to go into that. But the one thing I was going to prepare for this very, very in depth, but I stopped and said, you know what? I've never walked a foot, let alone a mile, in a black man's shoe. Nor have I done so with as a police officer. So let me step back and let the authorities do their investigation. Let's let the chips fall where they may. But after the fact, let's weed out all the misinformation from the actual information. And the only way we're going to come together and unify and work to change anything that's wrong, whether it be from the police department's perspective or from society's perspective, is to work together in lockstep, in unison, and try to learn from our mistakes wherever the mistakes happened, whichever side they fell on. And I'm sure there were mistakes on both sides to some degree, but we have to move forward, because the aftermath, it's a black eye for all of us. The rest of the world looks at those pictures, and that's what's going on in America today.
I think you guys make some really, really good points. I think there's three sides to every story: her side, his side, and the truth.
Yes.
And I also believe where there's smoke, there's fire. If people are saying that this police officer was attacked, something happened. There was some type of altercation. Whether he was going for his gun or pushing him away or whatever the case may be. Hopefully this information will come out. That's another thing too. Information is kind of trickling out. If it's a justifiable homicide by the police, do your investigation. Get that information out. Then to your point, Mike, personal responsibility. The black community, black people are upset, and they're outraged, and they're up in arms and protesting and rioting and looting in some places, because there's an unproportionate the police beating up, shooting, killing black kids, black men, it's an unproportionate ratio out there, and so we need to change. The police need to kind of take some responsibility and recognize, like, hey, this is an issue. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Perception is reality. The perception is police are killing black men. You know, that Eric Garner got killed a month ago. Mike Brown got killed this month. Who's up next month? You know, a lot of people out there are talking about black people that kill white people. And Facebook is on fire. Someone sent me a long list of black men that killed white men, or just something along those lines. I Googled one of them. The police wrapped it up nice and tight. You know, like you said, it's a tragedy when any human being is killed or shot or beaten. It's a tragedy, especially when someone dies. Back to my point, I googled the first person on this list. It was a kid. He not only shot a cop and killed him, but he shot a bystander. There was a high-speed chase. He sideswiped someone, and the guy he sideswiped obviously chased after him because he was like, it's a hit and run. You know, what would you do in a hit and run? Would you stop? Would you wait? Would you go? You don't know what you're getting into. Maybe he didn't know he hit me. This black kid shot a cop and shot a civilian. I had to Google it to find out who the civilian was. They were both white, shot by a black kid, but the police wrapped it up nice and tight. This was in 2012, and he's just going into trial on it now. So there's a difference between when a police officer kills someone or kills a black man, or a civilian kills, and I'm surprised I didn't hear about that first one. It just happened to be a police officer. When a police officer gets killed, people talk about it. I'm surprised that kid didn't get beat up or killed himself for killing a police officer, because police tend to get very sensitive about that. But the fact being is that things get tied up nice and tight when it's just civilians. We need to police our police like that too. Whether and the personal responsibility comes in if it's justifiable, someone's gonna have to pay a price. You got it, or not pay the price, but someone's gonna have to get that information out in a timely fashion and let the people know. If it's not justifiable, then someone's gonna have to pay the price, and that's where I think there's a lot of the discrepancy in there. And I don't want to stay on this too long. I just wanted to talk about it because people are on fire about it.
This has been a very dominant topic from social media right through the major media markets, and I think media has a bigger responsibility to play here, not just with this story, but with all of the stories, because they tend to polarize us. Because they pick and choose what they're going to go after, what they're going to release, and cause the reaction.
Yeah. And
it affects your news feed.
And just,
it affects
guys,
it directly.
Do your own research. Don't regurgitate this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look into things, or just be patient and wait and see what comes out, because all this stuff, like, it's pitting friends against friends and families against families, and it's it's crazy. And I don't want to. I kind of wanted to talk about it because a lot of people are on fire about it on Facebook, and obviously in Missouri there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's just be patient and try to wait this thing out.
And I think the one thing that really has come out of this, on a personal perspective at least, is people can have conversations and dialogue and agree to disagree. And what I may disagree with you today might change when something else comes out in the morning.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Keep the dialogue open, and let's not turn it into something that's going to pit us against each other as friends or what have you, because that is a big problem. And
Right.
You can see on other people's news feeds as well as your own. It gets pretty. It cuts pretty deep at times.
It does. It really does. But so let's move on. Keep the dialogue open, but we're going to move on with this. Ed O'Bannon, he is a former college basketball player, who had a lawsuit against the NCAA for names, image, likenesses, and he wants college players basically to get paid. They had court decision recently that came out, and it looks like in 2016 we're going to have some college athletes, maybe with some trust fund or some different things going on. Let's talk about it, Mike. What's your take?
Well, what's the final outcome with that? Is it the image and likeness of the particular athlete that they're marketing? Like, is the Johnny Manziel
Well, here's the deal. Here the two major components of this thing is that NCAA can't cap the amount of scholarship below the cost of attendance. So that's one of the major things that came out. Also, the NCAA cannot ban schools from creating these trust funds to pay the players equal shares for their name, images, and likeness. So when it comes to the name, images, and likeness, it's more so like the merchandise, the video games, stuff like that. So those are in the research that my research team did. Those are the basic components of this decision.
I think this is a very obviously a complex and complicated lawsuit that's finally come to a head with the decision. But you've got the NCAA, who has such a stranglehold over its college athletes. But at the same time, you have these top-level college athletes who are utilizing the NCAA as a platform to get to the next level, whether it be the NBA, NFL, or even professional hockey, the NHL. They're all using that as a feeder system, and they're getting something out of it at the same time. That college education, that tuition, is not just a one-shot deal. That's something that's going to stay with them for life, whether their skill set is able to turn them into the next pro or superstar athlete or not. They're going to have that degree in their back pocket. So it's kind of it's a multi-headed, multifaceted type of issue.
Right, Katie. What do you think? Do you think the athletes should be paid?
I think they should be paid, because I think that gives them more incentive to stay in school, so they have some kind of income while they're in school, instead of leaving after 2 years for the NBA and I forget, the NFL is 3 years.
Yeah, NFL's 3. Yeah.
But I think it inspires them to, or will inspire them to stay with school and finish their degree and have something to fall back on. God forbid if they get hurt, they have some kind of cash tucked away. I think they deserve that. I think.
So check this out. Let me ask you this. So a lot of people are talking. So this decision was basically just for D1 schools, and it's only for men's football and basketball, because those are the big time programs that bring the money in. There's like 5 power conferences, and that's pretty much what this is directed at. But some athletes, some other D1 athletes might be like, why are these guys the only one that gets paid? What about like print media? What about like the Tar Heels have a program that they send to their incoming athletes or their potential athletes, and it has me on the cover, throwing a football or something. Should that person get money also? A couple dollars for like the print media or maybe even the commercials, all the commercials that they run during the games. Hey, come to such and such university. If they show an athlete or even if they show a student, should those guys get money?
I think we're splitting hairs a little here. I mean, it's kind of tough. I think, again, like if you just in our own lifetime, how the college game has evolved from a 4-year program with a different level of competition. I would say maybe 15 years ago, if that, when kids were still staying in school for the full 4, it was a rarity to see somebody come out early. With basketball in particular, and that's where my focus is with college athletics. So everything's changed. The Olympics at one point were purely amateur, and the Dream Team just shattered all of that, and at least from the United States perspective. And now we're getting pro athletes in all the major sports competing in international amateur competition. So things are changing, and I guess it's time for the colleges who are making boatloads of money off of their major athletic programs to give a little back in a little different way. And they're very quick to judge when these young athletes accept something under the table, whether it be money or food even, or an automobile or whatever the case may be, from alumni donors. And
Yeah.
They drop the hammer pretty hard and heavy.
They drop it hard, man. I mean, and it's retroactive too. You know, it's not like someone's in their championship run or something, and all of a sudden these allegations come up. It's like a year or two later when they're trying to.
They take the title away.
Yeah. They'll take the title away. They'll take. You know, Reggie Bush. He got his Heisman. Or I think they were talking, and he just gave it back. He gave his Heisman back. But it's just like, you know, it's retroactive. Like, you're snatching titles and you're doing like, and it's like, it's not the kids, you know. It's like some of these boosters are passing out envelopes. You know, I went to a D1 school. I know, you know, what goes on. I hear the stories. A buddy of mine went to UCLA, and he was like, I was a scrub at UCLA, but I still got an envelope with a little 50, 100 in there from time to time.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's another thing too. I think some of these big time athletes are crying poor, but they get some dollars here and there.
I had a big time high school basketball player who came through the school I was at the time, and he was very heavily recruited, very talented, and the amount of merchandise and gear that he would bring into school or would be delivered to the school from some of these programs was ridiculous. And he did go on to play, and he had a decent run, but yeah, he's there. These colleges are aggressive, and the NCAA is certainly very aggressive with maintaining their structure and dignity. And is it hoarding, or is it being justifiable in their
I don't know.
interpretations?
But at the end of the day, if the school is attracting other students and other players to their school, they're almost like a big banner that says, hey, let's go here for, you know, to play basketball, to play football. So if you're attracting students using this specific player, I think he should be compensated for that. You know, that's like a free advertising for the school, essentially.
I know. I think it's a two-way street with that.
I don't know. I was talking. So like I said, I was talking to a bunch of buddies that I went to school with, and like, you know, I know guys that played football at Virginia Tech, UNC Charlotte, University of North Carolina in Charlotte. You know, I hung out with all the athletes there, and you know, UConn guys, and it's funny to kind of talk to them and be like, you know, like, what do you guys think? And they're like, we should be paid for, you know, you put me on a ticket, and you give that ticket away, you know, like, they were really adamant, like, yeah, like, we should get something, you know, $20, $50, you know, something like maybe a one-time fee to use their likeness and anything, you know, because I was thinking, like, if I'm like the ticket guy or the marketing, if I'm like the sports marketing director or something, like, I'm gonna want to use you. You know, especially if you're the star athlete.
Right.
I'm gonna want to put you on a poster or something.
A jersey.
Like, yeah, come check us out.
Now, are the guys who are making it big at the next level, are they making a lot of noise about this? Are they rattling the cages about it? I mean, they've obviously hit their pay dirt, and the school was the Ed O'Bannon. I remember Ed O'Bannon out of college.
He's a big dude.
I mean, he didn't quite materialize into.
But you're also a kid, though.
Of course,
you're
18,
19, 20. Like, who are you to fight the power and
you know. Might not be, but there's somebody behind you or in your ear who are willing to give you that little push in the right direction.
Yeah.
Of course, and then the NCAA finds out about it, and you're in cahoots with an agent, and there goes your eligibility.
Yeah.
And
I don't think agents and stuff should be involved at that level. I think the NCAA has the capacity and the money to facilitate something. And all, you know, what came out was there's a $5,000 cap for every year of eligibility for these athletes. So as long as you do what you're supposed to do, and, you know, obviously you're performing on the field and you're performing in the classroom, you have the potential to make $5,000. That's $10,000 over 4 years. It's kind of a drop in the bucket, but it's at least something, and it's a start to either not using these kids and just making sick money off of them, or trying to figure out how to get them some kind of compensation.
Well, to the point you made before, these kids are not only drawing other players into the program, they're drawing other kids into the schools in general as well to go root and cheer for their teams because of the success. They want to be a part of the bigger picture. So it's really a win-win for the schools, regardless if they're hemorrhaging a few $1,000s on their athletes. They're still making it back.
Yeah, they really are.
At the other end.
All right, let's move on. So the big thing now is the Facebook Messenger app. It's forcing you to use their app. So you have to use if you have a Facebook app on your phone, now you have to have a Facebook Messenger app to message with people. People are talking about this is a crazy invasion of privacy and all the permissions that are allowed at the touch of a button. People are upset about it. How do you feel about the Messenger app? Do you have it?
I do not have it. I honestly think social media is out of control. I do not like Facebook. I think it's a necessary evil that I use to talk to friends and family that live further away, so I could just drop them a message. But I use the actual Facebook app for that. The instant messenger, how they can use your camera and access your contacts and all around just be in your phone is completely out of line for me, and it's very unsettling.
What about you, Mike?
I think I'm the lone wolf here because I've downloaded and do use the app, and I think it's super convenient. And again, like I did a little research into it before I downloaded, because obviously the buzz was out there, and I don't think it's as invasive as people are painting it to be. I'm still waiting for Facebook to start to wash away all the negativity on its own pages from its subscribers about the app. But the permissions seem to be in line with any other app that's asking your phone for permission to access contacts or the camera or what have you, because it's a part of the app itself. Having said that, I've been a little more diligent about keeping the phone around me when I might not want it around me, in the event that Facebook is watching. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, I'm if the time comes and I have to delete the app, I will survive. I've been without Facebook for months. I think I could handle the absentia of the app if need be.
I don't have it, and I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to download it. And I'm going to take it to the bottom of the ocean with you. But here's the thing. With my phone, I have a Samsung Galaxy 4.
Actually, you turned me on to that phone.
Yeah. So for this app on this phone, it will just say download it, and you basically accept everything, and you do it. On the iPhone, when you download it, it asks, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Blah 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 blah. My old Facebook app asks me that, so that's cool. I have an understanding that you have access to my phone and to things in my phone, but my old Facebook app says, hey man, Facebook is cool. Sync your contacts in your phone with Facebook. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And probably every time I turn my phone on and off, it does that. So I just have a problem with the one click, you get all access thing. So here's the deal. I did my research, and Facebook is saying that Android permissions are written a certain way, and it doesn't work seamlessly with the iOS that Facebook. So Facebook runs on an iOS system and an i operating system, I guess. So the functionality of an iPhone with Facebook is great, but all of a sudden now the Android permissions aren't written correctly, and they say different things and they mean different things or whatever. The old app works pretty good with the permissions, and I'm happy with that. And I have a Facebook app that I use. Why can't you just run the Facebook Messenger the same way? It's a conspiracy. It's a Facebook iPhone conspiracy. And unfortunately, we're out of time. Conspiracy. conspiracy. We got to get out of here. Katie, thank you. Michael, thank you. We're on Friday nights at 8 p.m. on Verizon 45 and Cablevision 76. WPCommunitymedia.org. Just look for Talking Heads. One of our faces will be up there. And we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.
Production.